Hello. So I went vegan about 8 months ago. Before that, I was bulimic, and as bulimics come and go, I was pretty much up there in the top 10 bulimics. I used to make myself sick, definitely every day, but sometimes 3 times a day, and did so for almost 10 years. Excuse me. Two things changed that led me to being wholeheartedly, I'm going with this whole vegan thing. One was I was ready to change. I had reached a point where I was 100%, or at least 99.9%, ready to throw everything into it, to forget about my past, forget about everything that I thought I was going to be and do that I thought made me happy, and just listen to somebody else and take somebody else's advice. And two, I found a basic set of guidelines. I didn't have that before. I used to always try to follow this everything in moderation mentality, and that never worked for me. And there it was. The reason I was ready to change was two pretty shitty things happened to me. No pun intended on one of the shitty things, but as a bulimic, it's not the same for everybody. For me, it got harder and harder to make myself sick. So I used to have to use tools of the trade to help me to throw up. I used to use a toothbrush. Yeah, I used to get a toothbrush and shove it back my throat, tickle my tonsils or whatever, and that would help me to throw up. And one day I must have coughed or something because I inhaled and almost swallowed the toothbrush. So I was at home on my own, choking to death on a toothbrush. And I did get it out. But I just remember thinking like what? So that was going to be my end. I was going to be found in a toilet with a toothbrush shoved back my throat. And I mean, bulimia is a pretty, unless if you know, you know. But maybe, when you're trying really hard to make yourself sick, you regularly piss yourself a little bit, regularly. And sometimes even a little bit of poo comes out. That's not uncommon. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's not anyway. But yeah, that was going to be my end. I was going to be found in a toilet having shat myself a little bit because I couldn't eat properly and didn't know how to eat properly. And then on top of that, Dan and I wanted to have kids. And it became pretty obvious that the way I mistreated my body for the last couple of years, it wasn't going to be easy. It wasn't even possibly possible. I hadn't had a period in over 6 years, and basically my body was telling me that, I couldn't even look after my own body, not to mind actually have a baby to look after in my body. And also, I mean, how could I be pregnant and bulimic? That was something, and I had to get better. I realized that, the way I was living my life just wasn't as fun as I thought it was. I wasn't happy. So unhappy. And that's where Raw Till 4 came in. I somehow came across Freelee and all her fucking bananas, and she told me that I just needed to eat and everything was going to be okay, and I was going to feel better and I was going to be happy, and it was as simple as that. I literally just started eating, and the next day I was like, I was like a new woman, and I went from being 10 years of bulimia, convinced that I was going to always be recovering bulimic and it was always going to be a part of my life, to somebody who was like, what? Make yourself sick? That's madness. It just... That's why Raw Till 4 works. That's why, if you're fucking bulimic, then I'm telling you, try this lifestyle. It'll cure you.